All right, let's talk about Git. We're diving into a really important and honestly game-changing update to one of its most used commands. We're going to look at why Git switch was created and why it's here to save you from the classic and often kind of scary Git checkout.
So be honest. If you've ever used Git, you've definitely had that moment of hesitation with Git checkout, right? You type it, you pause, and you have that split-second thought, wait, am I about to change branches or am I about to accidentally nuke all my work? If you've been there, you are absolutely not alone. That command's ambiguity has been a headache for developers for years. And this just says it all. This isn't my summary, by the way. This is pulled straight from the official Git documentation. The command's description literally says it does two totally separate things. You know, it's like having a single button in your house that turns on the lights, but also might eject the toast from your toaster. It kind of works, but you can see how things could go wrong fast. And that's really the heart of the issue. Git checkout became this Swiss Army knife crammed with too many unrelated tools. On one side, it was your passport for jumping between branches, but on the other, it was a loaded weapon for wiping out changes in your files. When you combine those two jobs into one command, you get something that's not just confusing, but genuinely risky. Now, this wasn't just developers complaining. The folks who maintain Git, they saw this as a real design flaw, so they decided to do something about it. They split checkout's personality into two new, focused, and way more intuitive commands. Let's dig into why they did it. The whole motivation really goes back to this foundational idea in software design, the UNIX philosophy. And it's super simple. Make every tool do one thing, and do that one thing really, really well. By trying to be a branch switcher and a file restorer, Git checkout was just breaking that fundamental rule. It was doing two things, which meant it couldn't do either one of them as safely as it should. And here's the timeline for all of this. For years before August 2019, we all just lived with the chaos of the multi-purpose checkout. But then with Git version 2.23, everything changed. The Git team officially gave us Git switch for all our branch hopping needs and Git restore to handle file changes. This wasn't an accident. It was a huge step toward making Git safer and clearer for everyone. So what are the actual dangers here? It's one thing to talk about confusion, but the overloaded checkout command could lead to some pretty terrifying situations. I'm talking about permanently losing your work. Let's look at a couple of real-world scenarios where this command can go horribly wrong. And this quote just hits you, doesn't it? This isn't some made-up scenario. This is a real quote from a very stressed-out developer on Stack Overflow who ran a checkout command and then had that sinking feeling when they realized hours of uncommitted code had just vanished. This is the exact nightmare scenario these new commands were built to prevent. So let's break down exactly how a disaster like that can happen. Picture this. You've got a folder in your project called dev, and it's full of new uncommitted changes. At the same time, there's a remote branch called origin/dev. You think, okay, I need to get on that dev branch, so you type git checkout dev. Logically, you'd expect Git to create a new local dev branch for you, right? Well, here's the trap. With the old checkout command, Git had to guess what you meant. And because a file path named dev already existed, it could very easily assume you wanted to discard all the changes in that folder, effectively overwriting your hard work. Poof, it's gone. But Git switch dev? It's not a gambler. It only understands branches. It would never, ever make that dangerous guess and delete your files. Okay, another classic checkout pitfall is accidentally getting into what's called a detached head state. It sounds weird, but it just means your current position in the project history, your head, isn't on a branch anymore. It's just floating, pointing at a single commit. Any new work you do from here is unanchored and super easy to lose forever. And this happens all the time. You type git checkout origin/main, thinking you're just grabbing the latest stuff. But nope, checkout just shrugs and puts you right into that confusing, detached state. Git switch, on the other hand, is smarter. It knows its job is to switch to a local branch. If you try the same thing with switch, it stops you with a helpful error message that tells you exactly what you did wrong. It prevents the mistake before you can even make it. And here's the beautiful part. With Git switch, you can't just stumble into a detached head state by accident. If you actually want to check out a specific commit for some reason, you have to be totally explicit about it. You have to use the -detached flag. This turns a common accident into a deliberate, intentional action. No more surprises. Okay, so we've covered the why, the history, the dangers. Now let's get to the really practical stuff. How do you actually use these new commands in your day-to-day workflow? This table right here, this is your new cheat sheet. For just switching branches, it's pretty much the same. But look at creating a new one. That old -B flag is now -C on git switch for create. So much more intuitive. And like we just talked about, checking out a commit now needs that explicit -detach flag. And the big one, discarding file changes, that entire dangerous job has been moved over to its own dedicated command, git restore. One command, one clear purpose. See the pattern?
So let's put it all together. What does this actually mean for your daily routine? Well, switching over to this new workflow is incredibly simple, and the benefits are immediate. Let's wrap up with the key takeaways.
So why should you bother changing your muscle memory? Well, there are 4 huge reasons. First, clarity. No more guessing what a command will do. Second, safety. You're just way less likely to accidentally delete your work. Third, you get better, more helpful error messages. And finally, this is just the modern way to use Git. It's where the tool is heading. Okay, so here's your new game plan. It's super simple. Rule 1, git switch is for everything to do with branches, period. Rule 2, when you need to undo changes in a file, you use git restore. Rule 3, make sure you've updated Git. You need version 2.23 or later for this. And of course, the golden rule still applies. Always, always use git status. It's still your best friend for seeing what's going on. At the end of the day, moving from checkout to switch and restore is about more than just learning a couple of new commands. It's about adopting a workflow that's cleaner, safer, and just plain makes more sense. It's a tiny change in your habits that could save you from a massive headache down the road. So, you ready to make the switch?